T Marker, a real pain review, guys. Get right to it. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. Equal Ryan 680.
Amanda, that Kelly Ange.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. You know what to do, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and thank you for watching us. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Award season is upon us. Here we go. Award films. The films are going to be knocking them out. We'll probably be averaging about 3 to 4 films weekly with us, guys. So stay tuned and do not forget to hit that little bell notification to get notified for our movie reviews and trailer reactions. We got a lot of movies topics to talk about, a lot of movie reviews to talk about and everything. But let's get started right. Angela, what are we talking about today?
So this one's an interesting one. Definitely didn't think it would be on my list to see, but we love the people who are in there. So we are reviewing today A Real Pain.
Real Pain follows cousin David and Benji, who reconnect on a journey to Poland and honor their late grandmother. Their trip quickly takes a deeper and more introspective turn as they confront buried family conflicts and grapple with their heritage. Directed and written by Jesse Eisenberg. The film also stars Jennifer Grey, Will Sharp, and Kurt. This movie's been getting a lot of positive reviews. And at Sundance and everything, this actually premiered in Sundance back in January. And you know, movies, we already knew there was going to be this this caliber and this realm of like this has been nominated for a lot. It's actually was premiered as well at the Austin Film Festival. And Jesse Eisenberg, you know, I know you don't like him as Lex Luthor, whatever the case may be, but one of the things that I really did love about him, and one of the things that really stood out for me in his roles that he's done, was The Social Network along with Andrew Garfield. That movie was just spectacular. Andrew Garfield, Armie Hammer was in there. You know, it was a great film about the whole definition of Facebook, or how it started, the Facebook. One of the things I really appreciated in this movie was Jesse Eisenberg. Just his storytelling was very, very straightforward in a way to where, you know, this film captivates you into where this the first shot you see is literally you see Coke in there and you see the title, and it's so like, what are we going to get out of this? What, it's going to be quirky? Is it going to be, you know, strange? Is it going to be very visually stunning? And I got to admit, though, this story is very, very deep in certain elements here, and it really reaches a deepness that I didn't expect out of it in the end of the day. And here's the thing. This movie is titled perfectly. We talk about movies, how they're not titled correctly, or they're not like... No, this movie is titled very, very much so 100% correctly. There's definitely a real pain, and Culkin is a real pain in their chemistry. Jesse Eisenberg and Culkin are just so great together. Their chemistry is spot on. There's this genuine moment when they're because they're cousins, and it's generally I could relate because of that. And I don't know if I'm biased because I grew up with my cousins, but I could relate to where like this emotional struggle, this emotional grasp that you just want to make sure your cousin's doing good, even though he has a family, a life, you know, a graduated college, and just has this life of their own. But at the same time, though, they're going through this pain, this struggle, and you get to see that a lot more. So you get to see that with Culkin, the way his character is. It's very, very similar to Succession, but he does tie it. He does have a little more. He definitely has a different kind of deepness that we never really gotten in the past and everything. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this movie way more than I should have. Jesse Eisenberg directed this movie really, really good. Poland, seeing all the monuments, seeing everything where this was a tour of the Holocaust. And I mean, it's pain, it's struggle, it's real. And it happened, and sadly, and and there's this. I love how Jesse Eisenberg does like the whole Holocaust thing, and he get to see that, and it's so like there's no music. It's just this is you know, it's very genuine. It's very in fact it brings us to the depth of like our emotions, bring them out and everything, and really say how you feel. And I love that. It's very vulnerable. But yeah, Angela, what did you think? I'm going on and on. Yeah.
So I will.
And you're not a fan of Jesse Eisenberg. I want to clarify that.
I absolutely love. I know you are, and I'm
a fan of certain movies of him.
And I am not a fan of him. I am more of a fan of Culkin because I think he's so funny.
I'm a fan of both, so hey.
Yeah, so I already knew. I was kind of curious to see how Culkin was going to act in this one. Like, we already seen his character, how he acts in Succession. He's kind of a corporate prick.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, new character, new take. What's going on? So I really agree with you. I think the chemistry between Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin was so seamless and so believable. It was really cool to see them interact as cousins. I really liked the dynamic they had. I can't relate in the sense that I grew up with cousins because a lot of my cousins, there's a big age gap.
Yeah.
And so I related more in the fact of like the stark differences between their personalities.
Yes.
So like
Jesse
Eisenberg was very straight edge. He went to school.
Reminded me a little bit of you.
Yeah, very, very much relatable to me. Like, he went to school, followed the rules, very straight edge. Had the, you know, I don't have kids or anything, but like that kind of thing.
And it was so good.
And then very like more reserved, hard to connect with people. And he looks at his cousin who is essentially no job, no money.
More like me, but I do have a job.
But like no job, no money. Yeah. But like he connects so easily. Like he's so memorable. Like that's the thing. Like people remember the cousin, which is Benji, which is played by Kieran Culkin. He's just so quick to like he says, light up a room. And then there's a scene that was very powerful where essentially Justin Eisenberg, he's confronting his cousin and he's like, you know, you think you basically have nothing going on for you, but you know, you don't realize how good you have it with the way you light up. You have a presence about you. You light up a room when you're so charming, you're so funny, you don't see it, but you are. And he's like, I've always envied you for that, essentially. And I can 1000% agree with that. So relatable. So again, I really, really liked seeing that stark dynamic between them, like the contrast. That was done so beautifully because it was written, directed by Jesse. And I again, I'm not a huge fan, but I will say I really, really appreciated those scenes, those moments, because you see a couple of them throughout the film. I agree with you. I think some of the way it was shot, like when they do go to the concentration camp, very powerful. No music, silence, because you understand the gravity of what happened there. Like you feel the weight of it, that there's no need to put all these theatrics.
The tragedy.
It's
such a tragedy.
Such a powerful moment to be there. And so again, I think a lot of those
we weren't even there.
But a lot of those decisions were very smart and very done so effectively. It's just such a subtle thing that makes such a big impact. And so I think he was very smart in doing a lot of direction for that. And so I agree. For his directorial debut, I think it was done very well. The story was very seamless. It knew where it was going. It went there, and it was again beautifully told. Just the story between two cousins connecting with their heritage through their great grandmother.
Jewish heritage.
So I thought again it was really cool to see. I'm not the biggest fan, but I do appreciate everything that went into this film.
Would you say after seeing his first directorial debut, I mean, I'm in your opinion, I think you would agree that, learning from your perspective and everything, I think you would agree that he's a better director than. I mean, he directed and acted.
I would say, but again, I feel like it's because he's had acting experience. He's had so much acting experience. He's been able to take on different characters. And you know, I think that's added to why he was able to make such a really stellar film for his debut. So I would like to see more projects of him, and it does kind of turn my perspective a little bit on him
in a positive way.
In a positive way. I appreciate it more.
I got you.
And I'm like, okay, you know what? Fine. Yeah. Let's see what else you got. Let's see what else you got under your belt, Jesse.
Culkin does these scenes where are just pain, the struggles of life and everything. And I feel that because it's very, you know, it's just he says a lot. We're pampered,
privileged.
We're very privileged. You know, we get the phones and just everything. And I get what he's saying. I really do. I completely understand the side, that the point of view that he is expressing, because he lives a life where it's kind of freedom in a way, where like he doesn't have a mortgage. He just goes about life, and that's great. I mean, and it just it's very a vulnerable state, but at the same time though he's very already vulnerable because of the loss of his grandmother, because it was such a huge loss. And you get that initial take from the beginning of this film, because Jesse you kind of already understand where their their personalities are. You get that from the first 5 minutes of this movie, and it's so good. It's so rich. And it's very, very genuine. And I gotta admit, I know we already talked about the Holocaust scene, but where they go to the memorial and everything. I gotta admit, I gotta give props to Jesse Eisenberg for handling that so genuine. He really did. And I was kind of like, hopefully Culkin doesn't throw a joke in there. Like, it's kind of weird, but like it was so and I feel like not only as actors, because I don't know if they ever experienced that before. Let's be honest. I don't know if they have. I don't know if they were acting, but they looked so shocked. The weight of it, like you already said, the generalization, like people were actually massacred here, and you see that emotional grasp, and you see that with all the actors. So in my point of view, I don't know if they were been there, and I would say if they told me they were never been there to actually filming, I would totally be like, I wouldn't be shocked.
I think the situation, like you see, you walk through everything, like the bathroom and the chambers, and this is the housing, and you see that, and you understand it, but I don't think you understand the gravity of what really went on there until you get to the room with the shoes, which is very infamous. Like, I know a lot of textbooks in history showcase piles of shoes of people who
that's the famous
there. That's a very
photos.
starking image that has been shown. But to see it like in actual real life, the thousands and thousands, maybe millions of shoes that belong to people, like they once belonged to people. So I think, and I really appreciate, like you say, the way he filmed that shot. But also we get to see the aftermath of not only the tour group, because they're in this tour guide, but also Kieran Culkin's character, because he's this person who, kind of like you say, he has freedom, and he has kind of almost like a free spirit, and doesn't seem to get things to kind of weigh on him, but you see the impact it has on him. And that's really it's
a real pain,
real moment. Real pain.
You get that too.
So I appreciate a lot of thought that went into the story, telling this story between these two different characters.
Of course.
And so again, I will say hats off to you, Jesse. You did such a great job telling it.
Yes.
And we enjoyed it a lot more. I didn't know what I was getting into. We didn't know what getting into. I didn't see any trailer or anything. So I will say this was a really pleasant surprise.
Definitely, guys. All right. Was this the film that we deserved? I'm going to say hell yes, it was. Rating 1 out of 10. 10 be the highest, Angela. What do you give this rating? So I'm gonna give it a solid 9.2, just because Culkin is just brilliant. He's fantastic in here. I mean, I'm gonna rewatch this movie. I'm definitely gonna own it. There's definitely a moment in here where Culkin gives off these knockoff after knockoff jokes where they're doing the tour, and it's when they first do the tour. And he really takes a grasp at the room, takes a grasp at the tour, to where like he kind of almost takes over a part of the tour a little bit, tad bit, where in one scene at Poland. And it's again, we go back to where the acting skills of Culkin, man, it's just crazy, brilliant. And I mean, just like Succession all over again, which I love. I missed that show, but anyways, I could see him and Jesse being up for an Oscar nomination. I'll leave it at that.
So. Not just for acting, but I really do hope, something else. I feel like this was a really, really well done project where, aside from the acting, which again, it totally wholeheartedly agree. I really want this to get the recognition it deserves, because I think it was a very well done film. No,
for sure. What are you rating 1 out of 10?
Ooh, that's hard. I will give it an 8.7 because
okay,
not quite a 9 for me, but I really, really wholeheartedly agree. I think this is a really good film. It didn't drag for me. I think the story was very seamless.
The runtime was spot on, perfect, by the way.
Perfect.
An hour and 30 minutes. That's perfect.
dynamics, both of them. Again, I'm not quite a fan of Jesse, but I really liked his acting here. Same thing with Coco. We just love him. So it was done so well. And again, seamless story, well done acting. The shots were done really great. So again, really hats off to Jesse for your directorial debut. And I would like to see what you give us next.
Excited too. Excited as well, guys. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. Put in comments down below. What did y'all think? Let me know in the comments down below. What did y'all think of A Real Pain? Let me know in the comments and everything. And as always, I am your host, Ryan D. Ryan680.
I am Angela at that County Ange.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Have a good one, guys. See you at the movies. Laters.